Yeah, it was a combination. I think in the moment you don't really, realize it. You do get frustrated. I certainly had my share of things like when I was the first job when I was selling merchandise, and I was like, I just want to watch the game. I thought I was just going to watch the game, and I wasn't going to be doing anything like this. But learning that there's certain things that you're going to have to do, even if you don't like it. It's kind of paying your dues, and it pays off down the line. Maybe not with your next job or the job after that or whatever. But it's a lesson that you learn lessons like, yeah, I'm going to get to do what I really love for like 95% of the time, but I'm also going to have to do some things that I don't want to do. Like personally for me in my job now, I hate having to do, I have to create like the ticket list for our players and our staff for every game. I hate doing it because it's a pain, and there's guys always coming in late with tickets, or then they, whatever. But it's part of my job. Like no job, I don't think anybody has a job where they can say every single aspect of their job they love. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you just learn to realize that you're going to be doing a lot of things that you just have to do. It's just part of life. So I think it's frustrating in the moment, but later on you realize that it was actually important for
Thank you.
you. Mm-hmm.
I have a question about, I don't know if you'll be able to answer it, but
I'll do my best.
I'm a fan of hockey, and I've followed the Wolfpack and recently the Rangers, and I know that they're gonna start hockey. I think it said January 1st or somewhere around that. Do you guys have an expected or estimate of when the AHL is gonna play again?
It's the $1 million question. I mean, as of right now, I know the AHL posted up saying our start date, I think, is February 4th or 5th, something like that. That's the targeted date. As of now, I don't know if that's what's going to happen. I know that our fate is kind of tied to what the NHL does. I personally don't think the NHL is going to make the January 1st date, but I don't know. I wish if you were involved with some of the conversations I have with my coworkers, I wish we knew. Not having any sort of idea about what we're doing for the last 6 or 7 months has been a pretty frustrating process, but that's the world we're in right now. So the short answer is I don't. I would say February 5th is your best bet at this point, and if it's going to change, it'll probably change at some point. But yeah, as of right now, I can't give you a better answer than that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Was it easy to hop around and get the different jobs at different teams? Once you lost the job at the Rangers
Mm-hmm.
internship, it was easy to go to the Wolfpack because they're affiliated with each other.
It helped. I would say, I'm sure most of you guys have heard the whole adage that it's all about who you know in sports and not what you know. I'd say that's partially true. But you get the support of people by what you do. I certainly wouldn't have gotten my first position with Hartford if I hadn't done well as an intern with the Rangers, because I know that my supervisor at that time reached out to all of those people, to ask them about me and what my work ethic was like and all those other things. So it definitely helps when you know people. But obviously networking and all that stuff is incredibly important, but don't undervalue, what you do, in your day, because that's pretty much, you can be a good person and all that stuff, which is obviously important, but if you can't perform the job that you're, like when I was a PR intern, if I couldn't perform that job, the people in that or my supervisor in that internship would never have recommended me for, the next one. So they might have been like, yeah, he's a good guy, he's a good dude, like he works hard, but I don't know if I just don't think he knows what he's doing, or he's fun to be around in the office, but like he doesn't really do anything. Like, so it's a combination. Like, you got to obviously be a good person, but you got to work hard to earn the people's respect that they would pass you along to somebody, which is not necessarily an easy thing to do, especially as you move up the ladder. So yes and no. And then obviously, like, at least in my case, in the hockey world, um, the hockey world's pretty small. Like, in terms of, if you think about the game, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, I would say in hockey, it's probably more like everybody's connected within 3 to 4. So you never know when somebody, knows somebody there or has a connection there or whatever. So always be ready, always be acting like your next job is watching you, because they honestly might be in some way, shape, or form. But I would say that's incredibly important.
So would you say this is like currently your favorite position? Like, you would continue being a video coordinator, or would you be open to exploring other options in the future?
I would say as of right now, because my career goal as of this moment is to get to the NHL, and I know, knowing the software like I do, knowing how to use computers and technology, I know that's a strength of mine that there's people that people in the hockey world in general, in terms of players and things like that, don't have. So it's the one leg up that I feel like I have. So for now, yeah, like I actually do enjoy it. It's pretty cool. If somebody, I think a student asked me a while back, if you could boil your job down to one sentence, what would it be? And I basically said, I get paid to watch hockey, which is true. But which is a cool thing, and I love it. But I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely open. If at some point I want to become a scout, or if I want to move into more of a management role. I don't know. I mean, I think as a kid I was like, yeah, I want to be an NHL GM, and I want to do all the trades and all the fun stuff, and all that. And then I saw what GMs actually do, and a lot of it's not fun stuff. So yeah, I would say for now I'm cool with being a video guy. I think it's something I'm good at and I feel really good about. But I mean, I'm never gonna say never. When I started, I never would have thought I would have been a video coach or anything like that. So yeah, so I'm not gonna say it's what I'm gonna be for the rest of my life, but I'd say for the short term, it probably is. I have a question for you guys. Do you guys have like, so being in school, like, do you feel like there's anywhere lacking? Like, obviously you guys are all at Hartford. So is there anywhere like like the University of Hartford, they kind of lack for you guys as like sports people wanting to get into sports?
Yeah, we don't have sports programs as a whole. So we only have digital media and journalism with like an emphasis in sports. So like they have the sports courses, like sports journalism and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
in our business school, we don't have anything in relation to sports. So that kind of makes it hard for students to like even explore the career options in there. So
Mm-hmm.
it was definitely something there. But I mean, we have a couple of different local teams around us, and we want to really get into that, especially because we don't have those resources on campus. So that's why we're
Um,
trying to do that.
yeah, that makes sense. I think the one thing that you guys could really focus on, and like what you're doing with this is awesome, is obviously like reaching out to people and talking. But like you said, you guys have a lot of sports teams in the Hartford area, which is a huge advantage for you guys. I grew up in the Danbury, Connecticut area, and I was lucky enough that Danbury had minor league hockey, um, or still has it now, but they had a bunch of minor league teams, and I never have gotten the experience anywhere else that I did while working there. So I think it's really important that you guys reach out and get involved with those teams in any way that you can. I mean, obviously as students, you're probably not going to get paid or do anything like that, but I think that's a huge benefit. And obviously, I don't know what University of Hartford sports is like, but if you're interested in college sports or anything like that, I mean, getting involved with the sports at your guys' school even is a huge place to start too. And that's easy. Like obviously you guys aren't all probably there and there's probably no sports going on right now, but like normally if you guys are living in your dorm, you guys are on campus, they're playing on campus, you literally walk across the thing and you're getting experience as a sports professional. So I didn't take advantage of that while I was at Fairfield. I probably should have. But you just find a way to get involved at some level. I think that's the start. And I mean, I know people that have gotten started in hockey that literally they just went to the rink every day and they were watching a team's practice and somebody took notice and they're like, hey, do you know how to work a camera? And they'd be like, yeah. They're like, hey, can you film our practice for us? And there you go. I think actually the GM of the New York Rangers now, Jeff Gordon, he started out just filming video at a random rink in New England. So, just start by getting yourself out there and getting involved. I would say that's the most important thing, especially if your school doesn't really have a structured, sort of process for you to go through in terms of sports specifically. I would say, just get yourself out there. And then, like I said before, find people that at Hartford that are like, you know what, you guys might find one of your professors for like management or marketing or digital media, be like, you know what, they'll be like, I don't know anything about sports media. I don't know about this or that, the other thing, but I know you want to do this. And I know that they have this thing open and it's a good experience for you. Like if there's somebody that really values you as a student, they'll let you go do it and they'll support you. So just because there's no structure there at Hartford doesn't mean you guys can't succeed. And obviously, like building a group like this for you guys is awesome because it gives you guys a little bit of a support system among yourselves. One of you might get an internship at with the Wolfpack, and then somebody else gets one with UConn basketball, and all of a sudden now you guys are sharing your experiences and how you do things, and you're learning from each other. Which at Fairfield, I honestly I can't think of anybody from my class, or really from Fairfield in general, that is in the sports world. So, so having that common thread between you guys is awesome. Like, and you should work to continue building that and maintain it as time goes on. Obviously, because as you guys build this group, I think that'll, be good for you guys too.
So one more thing for me, we do have two seniors in here, Alex and Ryan. So do you have any advice for them as they're getting ready? Well, after they finish their second semester, of course, like getting ready to get into the real world as far as a career is concerned?
Oh boy. That's a big one. I mean, I would say the most important thing is you don't get frustrated by the process. I remember when I graduated, the last thing I wanted to do was to go to school. I just wanted to, as somebody with student loans and all that kind of obligations, I just wanted to get a job. I wanted to start working. I wanted to start being being an adult, doing all those things. And I would say don't be frustrated if you don't get there right away. Don't be frustrated and I would say that I've been guilty of this. Don't get frustrated by what happens with other people. I personally have most, or not all, if not all of my friends my age are married, have kids, houses, all that stuff. And at times, yeah, it would frustrate me. I'd be like, wow, like I'm sitting here like working for free and, living at my parents' house and all this stuff. And like, it's hard not to, but I'd say that's one way that you kind of you end up regretting something. So I'm like, there were times where I was like, I just want to get out of this. I want to just get a job, have a normal 9 to 5, have a life, be able to start building my life like my friends. And I had multiple friends tell me, no, that's not for you because you'll be miserable. So so don't get frustrated by what happens with other people. Just worry if you really want to do sports in general or really any career. Don't get frustrated by what other people are doing. It's it's not a healthy exercise for you. And I feel like I've kind of gotten to the point now where I don't really care. But I do remember when I came out of school, the first few years, especially, that was a very frustrating thing for me. So I would say try to avoid that. And even if that means you got to, talk it out with friends and stuff, like that's fine. Like, but I think if you can try to avoid that or at least learn to manage it a little bit, you'll feel a lot better about yourself and where you're going and what you're doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
A lot of other things I could talk about, but I'd say that's one that's really big.
Are there any more questions from anybody? Okay, if not.
Not really a serious one, but how excited are you for Lafreniere?
I would say I'm excited for the Rangers. I'm a little bummed he's probably not going to be here with us. But yeah, no, I mean, that's it's definitely exciting. I mean, he's an elite talent, an elite player, and obviously the Rangers already have a few of those. So it's nice for the team to get that kind of luck. Hopefully somehow that helps us. But like thinking about like my career goals, I want to get to the NHL. Obviously the Rangers are the easiest path since I'm already in the organization. So thinking that maybe someday I'm going to be cutting video of him and on a consistent basis is pretty exciting. So yeah, I know everybody in the organization is incredibly pumped. And I know fans are too, just because Ranger fans are crazy. So, but it's good.
Yeah. So if there aren't any more questions, no, Chris, we want to thank you for coming to speak to us. We really do appreciate it. I did write down your contact information, so I'll share it with them as well if they ever want to get in contact with you. But yeah, thank you. We took a lot away from this, and I hope you can stay in touch with us and everything as well. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys, for having me. And I love doing this kind of stuff. So anytime you guys need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to help out.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.